Infocom Connected continues with another live demo. Hello, welcome back, guys. If you're just tuning in, my name is Tom Devine. I'm with AV Pro Edge, Meridio, and Bullet Train, and I have been here manning the bunker booth here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Infocom was canceled. We didn't allow it to cancel us. Infocom has put on the Infocom Connected event, and we have been excited to join forces with them. And we have been doing live demos. So you may have seen our Fox and Hound live demo, or maybe our live demo on our PTZ solution for extending HDMI, 4K, and PTC controls at the same time. Maybe you saw our webinar on our Confrex switches, but our Confrex wall plates. But now we are going to talk about switches, and specifically matrix switchers, something that AV Pro Edge specializes in. And everybody says, everybody's got a black box matrix switcher, no big deal, right? Well, AV Pro Edge does our stuff a little bit differently. We actually are manufacturing 18 gigabit per second, 4K 60 headroom in all of our matrix switchers. So that means if you install one of our matrix switchers, you can install with confidence knowing that these high bandwidth resolutions are going to be able to pass through this system without any problem. No impedance on your signal. And this also allows you to give your customer a feeling that they're not buying something that's going to be outdated tomorrow. This gives them the feeling knowing that this is going to be a solid distribution method for as long as 18 gigabit per second 4K is around, which is going to be a very, very long time. So without further ado, let's take a look at how AV Pro Edge kind of breaks down our matrix switchers into a few different categories, and how each one may fit for the application that you're going to be using. So first off, let's take a look at three matrix switchers that we have here. So we have a larger one, as you can see, this middle-sized one, and this top one. But even though they're different sizes, this is all based on the same type of technology. So all three of these matrix switchers, as you can see, have HDMI inputs and HDMI outputs. So they are HDMI matrix switchers. We can see on this top one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 inputs, 2 outputs. 8 inputs, 2 outputs, and on the bottom one we have 8 inputs and 2 outputs. The only difference between this middle one and this bottom one is the chassis size. This is rack mountable so that you'd be able to fit it in a rack, and this is going to be so that you can leave this underneath a conference room table or in a closet, or hide it behind a TV or display somewhere. So that's going to be the difference between these. And what these are these are inexpensive auto switching matrix switchers. So what you're able to do is you're able to have multiple source plugged into these switches, and they can independently send out a signal so that throughout both of the output ports independently. So it could show any of the 4 signals on one of the ports and any of the 4 signals on the other port. Another really, really cool piece about this is this may be a switcher just for you to work around legacy products. Maybe you have a projector that's only able to handle 1080p. Maybe that you have some sort of extender or a AVR, some sort of audio device that isn't able to handle 4K signaling. Well, what you're able to do with this is come in 4K, no problem. But then you're able to manage that signal and downscale it for your output port to a 1080p signal that everybody can be comfortable with. And that's going to be available on all of these. Now, the best part of these is the price. And if you guys want to find out how much these are, we are shipping them right now. So all you have to do is give us a call, 605-274-6055, and you'd be able to get the prices on these right away. We are shipping, so if you are looking for a quote, just let us know what you need, and we would be able to get you that quote out. You can send your request to info@avproedge.com. So now that we kind of talked about our starter matrix switchers, our 2 output matrix switchers, let's look at our powerhouse matrix switchers. So this one in the top is going to be a 4 input, 4 output. We can show the back here. This is also going to be all HDMI. So it's just like the one we showed before, but now as you can see, we have as many outputs as we do inputs. And then we can see 1, 2, 3, 4 output blocks for audio. These output blocks, what makes them so unique is they are actually 100% independent. So they can extract audio from any of the inputs, and you can be output through any of the audio outputs. They do not have to tie one-to-one. They do not have to tie with the inputs or the outputs. These are a completely separable, matrixable audio output. And that goes the same for this larger unit that we see directly underneath this 4x4. Now this 4x4 beautiful unit, but the 8x8 gets a little bit bigger. But what we have here now is 8 HDMI inputs, and we have output blocks instead of output ports. So instead of having one output, we have 2 ports for every single output. So we have 1 block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks, 4 blocks, 5 blocks, 6 blocks, 7 blocks, 8 blocks. So we actually can go in with 8 inputs and out 16 displays, each one of these blocks being a mirrored image, but each one of the blocks being able to be a separate image. So you could show 8 different images on 16 displays, all at the same time. Now this matrix switcher is perfect for any kind of, any backbone system, right? This is going to go into a rack. This is going to be put away. You're going to have multiple zones throughout some sort of installation, and you're going to route control via Ethernet or via RS-232 or whatever your control system uses to allow this to manage the switching for your system. Now, let's say you need something bigger than 8 zones. We also have available a 16 by 16 modular piece, so you can select how many inputs and how many outputs you would need. Some of the special features, though, with our matrix switchers are located right here on the front. So if we take a look on the side here, this is going to actually show some of the features that we have. We have an audio delay and a scaling feature. That means you'd be able to actually take any of the inputs that you have here, and you could downscale 4K to 1080 or upscale 1080 to 4K. That allows you to send, if you have a 4K signal showing in your home theater, or let's say in your basement, but you want to show the signal throughout your entire home, but you have some TVs that are not 4K, well, you can downscale that same signal on the TVs that are not able to handle it, but keep the 4K signaling on the ones that are, making this a really unique matrix switcher. And so that brings us over to our Conforex matrix switchers. Now, this is going to be our classroom, conference room, huddle space. This is your pure solution, your easy to use, ready to go out of the box solution for conference rooms, classrooms, and huddle spaces. And what we have here is we have 2 different units. So on the bottom, I have a 4x2, and on the top, I have a 6x2, but they're basically the exact same, just with an added inputs and outputs. So let's take a look. We have 2 HD-Base-T inputs. We have 4 HDMI outputs. We have 1 HD-Base-T output and 1 HDMI output. Each one of these outputs is completely separate and matrixable. So they are sending an independent signal of anything that is plugged in. What makes this really cool, though, is you can see that you have audio extracted. So any of the signals that are coming in, you can extract the audio out. We have IR routing for control. We have Ethernet for control. Any way that you want to control this device, you're able to do so. Even more so, though, if you have a microphone or you have an audio system, maybe a PA system, you're able to actually input that into this system, and it can now be routed through any of the outputs or any of the audio extracted port. Because it has HD-Base-T inputs and outputs as well, you're able to utilize our wall plates. So that is what we are actually live demoing for you right here. We have our USB-C wall plate plugged into a new MacBook Pro. We're showing our video that I'm showing right here. So if you guys have any comments, let me know, and I can ask them for you. It looks like there's no comments yet. And so we have the source being our computer coming into this wall plate. This wall plate is connected via a USB-C signal. The category cable that is plugged into the back of this wall plate is plugged into this matrix switcher, and the matrix switcher is then plugged into these 2 displays. So if you look at this matrix switcher and these displays at the same time here, Nick, I'm going to be able to show these guys that we are actually able to switch between these sources. So let's say I'm going to do a presentation and I want to make sure that this TV is showing the same thing. All I have to do is take my signal and I'm able to change it so that we both have the computer signal on both of the displays connected. Now, if one display was on one side of the room, the other display is on the other side of the room, you're still able to connect them both. Then we can quickly use any control system, a remote control, or we can just use these front buttons to, let's say we want to switch this one back over to the football game. So I wanted to have this one be my, my reference monitor for the TV, and I wanted this one to be the football game. Well, now I have it. I have my two outputs connected. I have my input inputted, and this for your guys' information is running off of a little media player that I have hidden back here. So that's where we're getting this signal. And the Confrex matrix switcher is able to manage all of these audio video signals at the same time and display the signal that you want. So now that you've seen our small form matrix switchers, our large form matrix switchers, our classroom specialized matrix switchers, these are actually just a few of the many, many solutions that AV ProEdge has to offer. We have more matrix switchers, and we have a matrix switcher that is going to fit your next installation. So if you would like to get a quote on one of these matrix switchers, all you have to do is give us a call. We have people standing by ready to help you. 605-274-6055, or just shoot us over an email, info@avproedge.com, and we can help you get whatever you want. It has been a fun day. We're wrapping up day 2 of InfoComm Connected. I know this wasn't the most ideal way to find out about all the solutions AV ProEdge is providing, and I know we'll see you next year at InfoComm. But for right now, I'm very happy that you are tuning in, joining us, and watching what is going on with with the technology from AV ProEdge. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys check out our Twitter feeds tomorrow. If you haven't caught all the live demos, don't worry. They're going to be on our YouTube. They'll be available for later consumption. So all of this information is here for you. I appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you next time.